I think at the end of Malachi, the canon they saw was closed. The Jews saw that was the definitive end of the Hebrew Scriptures, because the Holy Spirit, in their mind, fell silent. There was no further prophecy. From there on, there is 400 years of silence before we come to the New Testament. The Holy Spirit was silent in those 400 years.
The voice of the prophets may have fallen silent, but the work of the scribes had just begun. In Egypt, Babylon, and Judea, they copied the Jewish scriptures and translated them into other languages. And one of those translations became the most widely used Bible of its time. In the late 4th century BC, Alexander the Great invaded the Middle East as part of his war against the Persians. He conquered the tiny province of Judea, and Jewish society was overtaken by Hellenism, or Greek culture.
And everybody spoke Greek. So it was natural for the Jews who were in the diaspora, they were brought up, many of them speaking Greek.
There were thousands and thousands of Jews in Babylon who never came home. And there were thousands and thousands of Jews in Alexandria and Egypt who never came back to the Holy Land, whose primary language became Greek after the time of Alexander. So much was this true that only rabbis or scholars knew Hebrew.
After Alexander's conquest, the Torah was translated into Greek, and over the next century or so, the rest of the Old Testament would follow. This new translation was called the Septuagint, a Latin word meaning 70. Today, it's often known by the Roman numerals LXX.
It came about like this. The Pharaoh of Egypt, Ptolemy Fidelis, wanted to have a copy of the Hebrew Scriptures in Greek to put in his magnificent library in Alexandria.
There was a legend that it was like 70 scholars doing it in 70 days or 70 minutes, that sort of silliness, which is a legend. It was a team effort over a couple of centuries of time, and it became the Bible of Jews that did not live in the Holy Land, did not have direct access to a lot of Hebrew scrolls, and really wanted to appropriate their religion in the language that they knew.